Hey guys, Blake here, Monology Motorsports US, and today we're going to be changing the brake master cylinder on my Honda Civic. So you may be asking, hey, it was bad. Well, the pedal was going to the floor, and I checked the wheel cylinders in the back. I thought it may have been an external leak, but if you look, we still got fluid. So I'm not losing the fluid externally, like outside the car. But you take this off and have a look, it's pretty nasty. So I think the seals inside this master cylinder are bad. Alright, I got some tools to make things a little easier. We got gloves, the new master cylinder that came with a new reservoir, so that way I don't have to save anything out of the other one. I don't have a vise, so I got these fittings and these hoses to be able to bleed it while it's on the car, hopefully. 10mm line wrench and a vacuum pump. So let me get this camera mounted, and I guess the first thing we'll do is to remove the fluid out of the reservoir that's on there now. Okay, so I've got the cap completely off, and then here's the pump setup. And hopefully, it's a lot of hose, but I don't want to cut it. Let's just see if it'll pump this out. Hopefully it will. Yeah. Right over into the collection cup. That actually worked a lot better and easier than I thought it was going to. Okay. That's alright. So I didn't think it'd work that good, but I got it out quick. Alright, let me get this apart and we'll take a look at the fluid. Alright, I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but look at that. Nasty. Okay, let's start taking it off. So the bolts on the back that hold it to the brake booster are 12mm, and I've already took the line wrench and just loosened the hydraulic hoses up. So now I'm going to see if we can break this loose off the brake booster. Okay, I've got the nuts almost all the way off, but before I take it all the way off, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the hydraulic lines and remove them all the way. This came in really handy. It just would have been better if this was a little bit longer, I think. Okay, I had to skip ahead a bit because these lines are taking forever to get off when you've got a real tiny line wrench. But now it's ready to come off. There we go, on the paint. And oh, that rubber seal that goes in there is just like completely gone. Wow, let me get a rag and clean this out. Okay. Just trying to clean some of this crud out of here. Wow. Mess. Okay. And I think this seal here is what was going bad. I want to push this, but I don't want it to spray everywhere. So now let's look at the new one. Okay, yeah, definitely a difference with the sealing areas. Like this one's completely covered, and this one's just, well, not. So, all right, let's see what we can do. We're gonna move the camera down, and we'll see what we can do about bench bleeding this one before we put it back in the car. I just wanted to mention I was getting the stuff out of the box for the new master cylinder, and I just saw this in there. I didn't even realize that this came with it. So this is the fittings that screw on where the metal lines would go, and the hoses to run it back over into the reservoir to bench bleed it. So cool. I didn't even need to buy that kit of hoses and connectors, but I can use them with the clutch master cylinder. Nice. All right, let's get these hooked up. Okay, so I've got everything hooked up. And then what you want to do is take these and then fill it with fluid and put them back in here in the reservoir before you start pushing on the pump. So we're going to top this off first. Oh boy, okay. It's got some air coming out of it already. Alright, we're going to take, this will be a lot easier with a vise. So if you have a vise, I recommend using it. I just don't have one. Air coming out. There's a lot of little air bubbles in there right now. God, this fluid looks so much better. Sorry about the wind. Now the ash from the fire pit's all blowing over here. God almighty. Okay. I think it's all pretty clear now. You see in the hose, it's all pretty clear. I don't really see a lot of air bubbles still in it. This is really killing my hand doing this. Okay, so I think we're good. I think I'm going to try and leave these hoses on here while I mount it back, and then take them off at the last minute before I put the actual metal lines back on the master cylinder itself. But that was a little easier than I thought it would be. I'm glad they sent these with it. I had some trouble finding a way to keep them in there, so I just kind of stuck the new cap on top. I think this is ready to go back now, and then we'll take those lines off, the plastic lines off, put the metal ones back. Okay, now I'm gonna put these nuts back on, but not tighten them all the way, just in case I need to make some adjustments. Have to move it around a little to get the metal lines back on, because they're not going to be as flexible as this plastic stuff, this plastic tubing. Now, you know, I'm thinking I may have regretted not taking them off until after, but I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. Okay, so I guess we start with the back one first, hopefully. I mean, you're gonna lose some fluid regardless, so you know, don't fret too much. I didn't lose a whole lot, so it's hard to tell as long as these lines are if you got it started or not. Feels like it? No, not at all. Okay. Okay, I'm going to remove this top nut again. Move this out some. You know what? I may just go and take them both back off. After a lot of trial and error, I got it bolted back. So I put the nuts on first to hold it to the brake booster. I had to take those all the way back off and then connect the hydraulic lines and then mount it back to the brake booster. So I've heard the key to this is to never let the reservoir run dry. You're gonna lose some fluid, but to never let the reservoir empty itself all the way out, or else you start getting air back into the master cylinder. Put the new cap on. Place this front. Plug it back in. And if you don't know, all that does is just let you know your brake fluid level. If it starts going low, these are the wires that trigger the signal to turn your light on. Okay, that's that. Let me go ahead and top it off one more time, I guess. Fill it all the way up. With some new fluid, and we'll see how it feels. I may have to bleed the brakes at the front, but hopefully not, but we'll see. Okay. Okay. Let's see how it feels. I don't know if I'll need to crank it for this, but probably, so we'll just start it anyway and see if it makes any difference. Well, it's definitely not leaking down anymore. I guess that's better. I don't even think I need to bleed it. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Huh. But now, just holding the pedal down, it's not leaking down anymore either, which it was scary because I was having to hit like the brake and the emergency brake at the same time to be able to stop. So that kind of sucked. That's much better. Okay, turn this loud thing off. Alright, so I guess that's going to do it for this video. If I have any suggestions, I would say just take your time. Make sure when you're putting it back that the reservoir doesn't run dry, and put the metal lines back on first, then mount it back to the brake booster, because that's where I screwed up. But alright, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps. Subscribe. We'll see you next time.